Hey Pokedad fan club, it's me Pokedad, and we are doing our third and final video showing off the rogue deck, the Sylveon EX deck. It's a very fun deck. It's one of my favorite to play, and it does pretty well. We're showing off the third battle video here. Again, in our series of 2016 Spring Regionals preparation. So we're doing some of these videos to kind of show you decks and how they work to get you ready for spring regionals. This is all in expanded format, so let's get in and hop into a battle. Looks like we're taking on a grass colorless, and when I first started I had no idea what we were playing against here, but this does end up being a Sceptile Ariados Raticate break, so I guess you could say it's rogue versus rogue here. And we don't get a very good start at all. We get a wonderful Spritzy that has the potential to be donked. Um, but one thing I know is if Raticate Break is the main attacker, which they typically are, you know it's going to take a while for them to get set up. So we've got a wonderful, I mean, this would be a decent hand. Well, some of it would be. It'd be a decent hand, except that we don't have a bench Pokemon, so we can't put Fighting Fury Belt on or use a Max Elixir. So right now we're just kind of, we could say we're in top deck mode right off the bat. With a poor little Spritzy as our starter. Spritzy's probably one of our worst starters, but it's okay. In one way, it's kind of good because we don't have to dig for it and the Aromatisse. Next turn, we could potentially have the Aromatisse, and we can already begin doing fairy transfer. So that's one positive thing we can look at with this. All right, finally, our opponent does get into it. We get a VS Seeker for our mulligan, and then we top deck a Sycamore. So I play the Fighting Fury Belt on the Spritzy because I'm gonna die anyway. I'm gonna Sycamore it away anyway, and it's very much possible that I could just end up getting donked. So I just like, well, at least it'll give me 40 extra damage on that Spritzy until I can get it into an Aromatisse. But I do go ahead and retreat it here. We have the Fairy Garden, and we already have 2 energies on board, so this is not terrible. We go ahead and Shaman here, grab us a couple more cards. We know we've got a VS Seeker for Sycamore, and we have a Ultra Ball here, so we could potentially at least get a Sylveon going or something like that, and that's what I do. I end up discarding 1 energy and grab the Sylveon. And since we're going first, we can't Geomancy. It would have been nice, but we're at least sitting pretty good. So if they do bump our stadium, we can attach the energy, put the Fairy Garden down again, and then Sycamore again. He plays an energy to the Rattata, I should say, and does Dangerous Suspicion, which I think allows him to draw a card, and then he gets to retreat it to the bench, bringing up the Spinnerack. All right, we top deck the Aromatisse, which is so awesome, which means we can go ahead and begin putting pressure on our opponent here. So we retreat into the Sylveon. We attach an energy to the Sylveon, and then we can now transfer all these energies to the Sylveon, and we can begin we can go ahead and take a knockout this turn. So this Max Elixir really helped us out because turn 2 we're already hitting for 100, which is pretty good. And the one thing about this deck is if they can't use Ariados' ability, then they can't. Then the Raticate break can't take a knockout. And so that's what we really want to try to do, is we want to try to keep the Raticate break from taking a knockout. on us. One thing you also want to consider is not to play the Fighting Fury Belts too early, because if he doesn't have the Ariados, but he tries to use the Raticate break attack, um, I forget, we'll see it in a moment what it is, but we can add a Fighting Fury Belt, which would then mean that he would have to use that attack again to help himself out. Now he plays a Revitalizer, which I have to say, it seems pretty ingenious in this deck, since you need Spinnerack and Ariados. It's so important in the deck. It seems pretty good to play the Revitalizer here. So he was able to grab the Spinnerack. He doesn't, however, he plays a DCE down on the Raticate, and then he just Dirty Shocks here. And so he's able to hit us. He just poisons us for 10. And I think what I'm thinking here is I'm not as much concerned about the Raticate break as I am about the Ariados comboing with it. So, because we can always max potion off damage, but we don't want to, the one hit KOs are what really hurt us with this deck. So we go ahead and we just, I think I'll Lysander here because I have the VS Seeker, and we can just grab the Lysander. And I want to go ahead and hit that Spinnerack again, put a Float Stone on Shaman, and I put a Fighting Fury Belt on the Xerneas, and I'm not really sure why I do that. But anyway, we break through here, taking damage, taking the Spinnerack out, and then we're also able to put 30 damage on that Raticate. So at this point, he's really kind of in tough trouble, but then he plays another Revitalizer, and he's able to get the Spinnerack out again. And he puts a Fighting Fury Belt on it and an Energy on it, and then he Dirty Shocks this Xerneas EX. I top deck the computer search. So I computer search, and what I computer search for is kind of funny. I computer search for, you'll wait for it. I computer search for the Lysander so that I can Lysander up that stupid Spinnerack once again. Now I'm in poison, so I can't attack with Xerneas, because if he gets the Raticate break, then he just knocks me out. So I have to get out of the poison, and then I can Precious Ribbon here, take a knockout, and then I can also put the energy onto the Xerneas here, Xerneas EX, and heal him up. So that worked out pretty nice for us. Alright, so he Pokemon fan clubs, and guess what? He grabs another Spinnerack. That Spinnerack will just not die. Oh, it's crazy. He puts an energy on Sceptile EX, and he has one card left. He retreats into Sceptile EX, and he hits Sylveon with Sleep Poison. I go to sleep, and a poison, but I do end up waking up. So, and we still have the Fairy Garden in play, so we're in good condition. We're okay there. We go ahead and drop another energy down, I think, here. And just to kind of diversify it, I think I put it on the Xerneas, baby Xerneas, and then we just Sycamore. No more Lysanders for us, so that kind of hurt us. Alright, we Ultra Ball here, and I don't remember what I Ultra Ball for. Um, Looks like I got Ultra Ball for the Keldeo. I think it's because I'm afraid of sleep poison, and I just want to make sure we don't, um, you know, if we fall asleep, we have a way to get out of it. So I put the Fighting Fury belt on the Xerneas. Put an energy on Keldeo. Move an energy, and then I just free retreat into the Xerneas EX. Now he's only holding one card in hand, so I'm thinking, what can he do? He can't get the Raticate break and the Ariados. Of course, I wasn't thinking too clearly because I could have probably, um, I should have realized he maybe had a VS Seeker or he could top deck something. So I ended up X-Blasting here. I wasn't really sure what I should do, but I went ahead and X-Blast. And my thought is next turn I can Lysander up the Raticate and do a breakthrough and take a 3-prize game and win the game. So that's my thinking right there. I'm like, I'm putting him on a 1-turn clock at this point. So he takes a little bit of time, and I'm thinking, okay, I've pretty much got him then. But he actually surprises me here. And I can't remember exactly what he does. I just know that, alright, so he did have the Ariados in hand. He retreats. Oh yeah, that's what, I'm just like shocked. He's got the Ariados and the Raticate break in hand. Like, how did he manage that? So he super fangs me. That's the one. Hits me for 200 and then the poison knocks me out. And I was just like, my jaw kind of dropped. Like, what? Where in the world did that come from? And I lose all that energy. Here I am. I'm setting up the, the play for the knockout. And he comes back and he takes out my Xerneas EX. So I'm like, okay, well, at least we have energy on board here. We still have 3 energies on board. We need to figure out, and I can't remember, I'm pretty sure the Fairy Garden's still in play, but I wanted to put the Keldeo up, but I wasn't sure because that line was in the way. We did top deck the Sylveon, which is really good. We at least still have that. Um, and so I'm thinking, well, I know one thing, he won't be able to get the another Raticate break ready for next turn. So I know for certain that if we knock that out, all he's going to be able to do is use Sceptile EX, and he has no energy on the Sceptile EX. So he's going to have to, he won't be able to do, it'll be hard for him to do everything that he wants to do here. So we retreat, and the reason why we retreat is because we want to heal this Sylveon. It has 30 damage on it, and we want to put it down so that it has 0 damage. So and this is really the whole idea behind the deck, is we can Precious Ribbon back and forth and heal our Sylveons up. So we do that. I go ahead and I don't Sycamore here because I know I've got the knockout. And I want to be able to keep that VS Seeker in play just in case we need the Lysander. And then also think about this. If they want to end me and I only have 2 cards in hand, well, now I have 3, he may not be as likely to end for that reason. He puts the Ariados up and plays another Sceptile down, puts a Fighting Fury Belt on that Sceptile and an energy, and he Poisonous Nests. And at that point, it's pretty much a good game, I think, because I can just Lysander up um, that Sceptile that's on the bench. But I go ahead and retreat. I want to just play it because kind of cool because I want to try to actually get the knockout and heal off the damage, because there's a good chance that he'll just concede. A lot of people do, and so I actually wanted to see if I could, take the knockout. And it was kind of funny because I had 3 Sycamores and 2 Lysanders, so in the discard pile, those were the only supporters I had, so I had a full house there. But I just Precious Ribbon here, move the energy to that back Sylveon, and so I ended up having healing that off. And so that Xerneas did catch me off guard when he took out the Xerneas EX, but we were able to make short. That didn't really set us back, and 2 turns later we were able to take care of that. Anyway, guys, so that is my last battle video showing off the Sylveon EX deck. Again, guys, this is a rogue deck. I don't know how well it'll do in expanded, especially at regionals, but one thing I do know is it does seem like it could do well against dark decks because of the resistance, and it also seems like it can hold its own pretty well against locking decks. As long as you can get the energy on board, you're going to be hitting a lot harder than Seismitoad will. And if they try to put Giratina up, you can one-shot them pretty easily. So it seems to me like even Seismitoad Giratina is a pretty decent matchup. Might struggle against Mega Rayquaza, colorless. That's understandable. But anyway, guys, that is the deck. Please feel free to hit the like button. We're trying to get as many thumbs up on the video as possible. So please, please, please hit that for us. It just takes an extra second. Also, please ask any questions you have in the comments. Please feel free to leave those. And then finally, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We value each and every one of our subscribers. So anyway, until next time, this is PokeDad signing off. We'll talk to you later. Bye.